especially when it comes to the name of our Messiah. Now, it says, it even asks you, why does it have strange spelling? Well, you can look it up more on that, and I highly recommend you all check this out on your own time so that you can be deceived no more. But as you see, they used the archaic English or the Old Middle English back then during that time. And as you see in the actual scripture itself, you see that in the King James Version itself, that what? There is no letter J whatsoever. The letter J is nowhere to be found. As you can see, it says, after this there was a feast of what should say the Jews in the original King James. Well, in the 1611 version, it has the letter I. And by the way, the letters I and J were originally pronounced as the letter Y, so the Y sound. And you can see right here the name of the Messiah, what? It says, instead of saying Jesus, it says it with an I, or Jesus, or Jesus as another way of pronouncing that. And as you can see, the spelling is different. This is how they originally spelled it. But there's no letter J. Can somebody tell me where the letter J is in this version? And if you look here, you'll even see that there is no letter J right there. And even verse 6 too even says, what? No letter J right there whatsoever. So if you keep going, and if we keep going, when we see the name of the Messiah, you see that what? No letter J. It's spelled with a letter I. And this chapter is all talking about searching the scriptures, which is what we are doing. As you can see in verse 8, there is no letter J. His name is spelled with an I. You will not find the letter J at all in these scriptures whatsoever. So the question is, why is it there in today's King James Version if it wasn't even there in the 1611 version? And then we have right here for the Jews, or the word that's commonly known as the Jews in verse 10, we don't see the letter J there either. It's spelled differently, and they spelled it differently too. In verse 13, we still don't see the letter J either. In verse 14, there is no letter J right there. It's all the letter I. And we see that here, the letter I and the letter I right there. As we can see here, we see it again there, we see it again there. I'm just trying to give you a better idea and a better mental picture of this so that you can see how words were spelled differently back then. Even the word son was spelled differently back then, so that you can see that there was no letter J and that I'm not making this up. So then the question you should be thinking about is, if there was no letter J in the King James Version 400 years ago, and I've just proven to you with the actual King James Version itself that there was no letter J 400 years ago, then why is our Messiah's name spelled with a letter J? Because I'm here in the book of John, or Yahuchanan chapter 5 verses 43, and once again we're here in the 1611 King James Version, and it says, I am come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him ye will receive. Why am I talking about this verse, and why is this verse so important? Is because the Messiah himself tells us that he comes in his Father's name. And of course, if you look at this version, you see that they spell the word receive differently. They spell it with the U instead of a V back then. I'm telling you, and they also spell believe differently back then too. I wonder why that's the case, because it's different English. Like I said, no letter J in this version at all. You're not going to find the letter J. So then why is our Messiah spelled with the name of the letter J if that's not even his name, if the letter J is not even in the scriptures whatsoever, as I've just proven today? And you can look at this more on your own time. So you may be wondering then, well, what's the Father's name? What name is he coming in? And our name's really important. That's something that we will be tackling as well today. Because I'm here in Psalms or Tehillim chapter 68 verses 4, where we can actually find the name of our Father, and we'll see exactly what the Messiah himself is talking about. Now, like I said, when you look at the original 1611 KJV, you're not going to find the letter J whatsoever in scripture at all. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why, and we're going to go over more of the letter J in the history of the letter J in just a second. But right now we're going to go over names and why they're so important. So we're in the book of Psalms chapter 68. And as you can see, it even says the rejoicing. But hey, the rejoicing, there is no letter J right there. Interesting, isn't it? But we're going to be reading from verses 4, where it says, and of course this is a truth network, so we do is we restore the set-apart Hebrew names for our Father Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, and I'm going to go over that more in just a second with you. But as you can see, it says, sing unto Elohim. Another way to pronounce Elohim is Allahim. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name Yah, because remember, the letter I and the letter J back then are pronounced as the letter Y, so name Yah and rejoice before him. Again, no letter J right there. But as you see, and you'll see in the KJV today, that instead of I-A-H, it's spelled J-A-H. But like I said, it's pronounced Y-A-H, or Yah, or Yahuwah. Why is that so important? Is because when you understand the names and the origin of names, then you start to understand why all of this is so important. Because